Hey now, welcome back everybody. For those who are new, my name is Rudy, and we are currently in my garden. And in today's video, like you've seen in the thumbnail, it's going to be a garden tour. Now, there's also a whole lot to do right now in the garden. I want to take you along for that as well. So now the first thing I want to show is right here. So we have these violas I actually didn't plant. And what I think happened is these violas that I did plant over here actually seeded and somehow got in these pots. Just goes to show how resilient plants can be. And on top of it here we have some sage that is currently flowering. It's a nice little flower, as a matter of fact. I've never seen sage flower before. And then right here we got the catnip. It's really nice. I mean, I've cut it back and it just continues to grow. And then we have some volunteer chamomile also starting to flower. So there's a whole lot of things flowering in the garden right now. Here's a new flower that I started. This is a cup and saucer, I believe it's called. It makes a nice flower, but as of right now, it's still not flowering yet. And here's another cup and saucer, along with some volunteer nasturtium. All of this in red is nasturtium, along with some volunteer bachelor buttons. So again, these nasturtiums I planted in this pot about a year ago, and I cut them out, but I think they're not even in this pot anymore. They actually seeded outside of the pot. So if you can see there, that's where it actually starts. So it's in the actual ground and it just popped. All this. So looks really nice. The blue contrast. Once these other pods start to flower. Here, I forgot what flower this is. I think it's yarrow, Colorado blend. Again, I never planted this before, but there is some aphid. And you've guys seen this before. This is the ice plant. I forgot the exact variety. Then here we have some onions that have gone to seed. I left them in because the bees really enjoy it. I believe these were dahlias. I'm not 100% sure. I forgot the tag got sun bleached. So far they're doing okay. What's a California garden without some poppies? Also, first time growing poppies. It is native to California, and in fact it is the state flower. Alright, so I just did a little maintenance here, pulled some weeds out. I transferred this chamomile into this larger pot. It was just stuck in this smaller one here. Pulled some weeds, trimmed the viola back a little bit, and then the ice plant here is the main thing that I kind of took care of. A lot of these are like spent out flowers. So I clipped a lot of these out, put all those spent flowers in the compost. And then here we got the violas down the middle, gotten much bigger. And then I interplanted with some lettuces down the sides. And they were smaller, they were about, I want to say maybe this size. And now some of them have, double, maybe tripled in size. And then this is some type of volunteer, I don't know what this is. I'm gonna cut this out though. And there's a quick little cleanup. Again, just taking out a lot of the dead foliage that was there, a lot of the dead flowers. Now here, I'm gonna chop this lettuce. See, this one has gone to seed already. And then you can tell there's a whole lot of aphids. It's just not worth eating anymore. We have the peas. Peas have just been popping off, but it's gotten way ahead of us. You can see they're just not looking too good. So I'm also gonna pull this out along with the peas on the other trellis right there. All right, so I cleared both of the peas out. Now what I wanted to let you guys know is, basically remember, there was a wall of peas here. Because I removed that wall of peas, these flowers are now in full sun. So before they were shaded out. So that's one thing to take into consideration. We are changing the microclimate of these plants that are still left. Potentially that we will need to be watering this bed a little bit more, as now that they are in full sun, the soil can potentially dry out faster. Or if we see something change with these plants, obviously they look the way they are now, but if they start to get dry and brittle, or we start to see something change, we'll know it was because we removed that shaded portion of its environment. That's just one thing to take into consideration when it comes to microclimates, and when you make small little changes that can have some effect on the rest of your garden. Alright, so we definitely got to clean this bed up here, and there's some weeds that are popping out here, and then get rid of this as well. And then I want to clean up the jasmine. There is a lot of dead growth here that I want to clean out, because it's starting to flower real nice, but you can just see like the center is dead. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean all this up. So these are the flower pods, and we crack these open, we have seeds. So I'm gonna go ahead and save these. Basically I have extra moonflower seeds that I can plant for next season. Well guys, I ain't gonna lie to you, I kind of messed up a little bit. So I kind of just spread it out. Clipped some of the vines to the fence, kind of opened it up more. I was trying to get all the dead growth from the inside, but how I ended up messing up was I kind of clipped some of the new growth and the growth that currently has flowers. Just going a little too fast, wasn't taking my time. Ended up clipping some of the new growth. So my fault on that, but I mean, I think it looks way better than it did before. And as for what we got over here, the beans are just, they're ready to get pulled out. There's powdery mildew already on them. I got a whole lot of kale starting to go to seed. Again, way too much I planted. Oh, starting to flower and then go to seed, I'm sorry. Alright guys, so it's been a couple of days since we last left off. I got busy and had to go, but here we are. I'm gonna finish the rest of this garden tour. So the kale, most of it is going to flower. It's still edible, however there's a lot of aphids, and I'm probably just gonna go ahead and pull it out entirely, and then basically gonna re-amend the beds, because the beds need some more compost and some granular fertilizer. Same thing with the broccoli here. They have also gone to flower, but the bees have been enjoying it, so that's why I have left it for so long. And finish up, I have some flowering peas in here in each of the corners. And then this is two volunteer tomatoes. I didn't realize that one was there. But this is a volunteer. I have some collards here. Looks like the aphids are getting to it. And then we got the milk thistle. I forgot what this was. I ended up finding the tag for it, but didn't realize that how sharp these ends of the leaves are. I can barely come in here and touch it without getting poked. But it's gonna be a really nice flower. I'm not really growing it for the medicinal uses, because there's a lot of medicinal uses for milk thistle. But again, I'm just growing it for the aesthetic. And then here are some gladioluses that have been in this pot for, I want to say, over 2 years, going on maybe 3 years. Not sure exactly how long, but basically each year after they bloom, I'll just clip right at the base, leave the bulbs in, And we don't get a hard freeze like in other zones. We're in zone 9B, 10A, so never actually freezes. So the bulbs will be good staying in the soil. And then a few different things, the spinach, this also needs to be pulled out. Cathedral cup and saucer, I believe is what it's called. It's also 2 flowers here. Some more collards in this little pot. And then a couple more collards interplanted in here. And then we have some, I believe these were tulip bulbs. I forgot the exact variety, but they got these from Costco. They resemble a rose, but they are bulbs. And there's a few more that are gonna come up soon. And then to finish it off, here's the bed from before. So I recently staked this up. I used an old stem from the Canagrow. That's the actual main stem. And I believe these are called the sweet pea, but they're starting to bloom again. They really like this bed. They were 4 small little starts. They're about this big. And that wraps it up for today's video. So hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to throw a thumbs up. And also, if you want to see more content like this, you can click on any of the on-screen icons to the side of me. And if you would be so kind, you can click on the subscribe button right below me to subscribe so that you stay up to date with all my videos. This is Rudy with Givada Garden signing out and letting you know that you won't get a harvest if you don't sow seeds.